welcome back. In today's video, this will be part 2 of our summer Pinterest to Palia build challenge. I'm so excited for today's video because I just can't wait to see the final product of this house that we've been working on. But before we get into the video, I just want to thank you guys so much for 4.5K subscribers. I truly can't believe it, and I just feel so grateful for each and every one of you. And since we have some new friends, I thought it would be fun to do some sort of Q&A. So if you have any questions for me, please leave them down below and I will answer them in a future video. But until then, let's get into the build. And then also, hello from future me. I forgot to film this part before I started building, but here's a little reminder of the layout. So last video we did the living room, a dining room, a kitchen, and a pantry. I will have that video linked down below if you would like to catch up on that, or maybe if you just want to brush up on it. This is a Pinterest board that I am basing this entire build off of. And then you are getting a little sneak peek of what's going on. But for today's video, we are working on an outdoor area, a bedroom, a closet / laundry room, and a bathroom. We are going to be starting with the courtyard. And I already have an idea of what we're going to be using for floors and walls. I want to use this shell floor because I'm kind of obsessed with it. I think it's so fun. And then for walls, I think it'd be nice to use a little jaded tile wall. And then we'll do the same on this side. And then we'll also do the tile wall in this hallway as well. For this outdoor area, I put up some photos for what I'm trying to recreate in this space. In this courtyard, I definitely want to make some sort of outdoor kitchen. I really love that top photo. I thought that oven cooking area was really cool, so I'm thinking about placing it maybe on this wall, just because that room leads to the main bedroom. And it might be kind of nice to have a little bit of privacy. I'm also thinking about maybe having those checkered pavers that we put in the front of the yard over here as well, because I think that might go. And I think it would be kind of nice if there was some sort of like theme with the outdoor area. So I might repeat that as well. I really want these sections to be filled with a ton of seating. So I'm thinking at least a little outdoor library situation, maybe in this corner or that one. Like, how beautiful. Ooh, maybe this one. Like, just imagine reading right here with these views. I think that would be gorgeous. And then we're just gonna have a few other sitting areas throughout this, but we're gonna start with the courtyard over here. On this wall, I think we need to place some wood walls. So we're going to start off with 4, and then I might do more. Beautiful. And I put them in this little diamond shape. I think that looks very good. I feel like it needed to be extended, so I'm just going to do 2 on both sides. The space kind of bothers me, but I'm just going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it and just pretend it's not there. Now, I kind of want to add some character to this wall. So we're going to go ahead and take the stone pillars, like right in front of the wall. But we're going to stack 2 on both sides. But I think that looks a little bit better. Now, in that photo, there's a very long overhang. I'm going to take a little bit of creative liberty, and we're not going to do that big of one. I'm thinking a smaller one, kind of just in the kitchen area. For the dining area, I just think it would be really nice to be able to eat dinner like under the stars and whatnot. So we're going to keep that part cleared. But let me grab some wood floors. Sometimes when I place these small stone crates, I feel like I'm playing Minecraft, so I like try to jump and place it. But then I remember that I'm in Palia and it doesn't work like that. This is what I came up with for the outdoor overhang. I need to place 2 more up top, but we have 8 wood walls right here, followed by 2 stone pillars on both sides. Then we placed 8 wood floors on top of it. And then for the stone pillars on this edge, I didn't want it directly underneath this corner, just because I feel like this looks a little bit nicer. There's a little bit more dimension to the build, but you place 2 more wherever you're wanting the extra like overhang support. And then up top, I did double up on the wood floors just because I think it looks a bit more intentional with like the thickness versus just having the singular one. That's what we have for our overhang. Now I need to figure out the kitchen area. Maybe we'll do something similar to what we did in the kitchen. I feel like we could technically use the oven, but I almost feel like that would be too easy to create that shape. So we'll do 2 stoves and another stone range hood up top. And I know that's similar to what we did in the house, but again, I think it might be nice to have some sort of repetition. You don't need to do it with everything. It just is a nice little touch when there's some things that are repeating throughout a build. We're gonna place 2 stones, 2 more up top, and then don't forget to alternate the sides. And then we're gonna go ahead and place more stone crates on either sides. This was the better move because now the pillar is connecting with the counter. I think that's looking very nice. Now we're gonna do it on the other side. I'm loving that so far. Like, I know it's kind of similar to what we have like going on in the house, but I think it's fitting the vibe of that photo a little bit more than just using like the oven. Okay, let's see if this looks good. I want to see if I should connect the stone. I don't know if I'm liking this though. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that's too much actually. How is it if we just kind of keep this shape? Okay, maybe we'll keep it like that. Okay, I'm gonna do one side with this extra block and then we'll do the other side without it to kind of see what we like a little bit more. And I know that these aren't in the photo, but I think it'd be nice to have a bit more storage. What side looks better? I'm almost thinking that we should do this side only because we can have a bit more storage up here. Like maybe we can put barrels or something. Yeah, that was the move. I think that's looking really cute. I think we need some sort of island right here. Oh my goodness. I just realized there's footsteps in the sand. I've been working on this plot for so long and I'm just now noticing that. That's kind of nice. And then like the dirt kind of kicks up too. Dang, I just barely noticed that. Sorry, Palia. I'm a fake fan. Because this is an outdoor space, I think we should continue with the stone. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's looking really good. Okay, turning away from this area is going to be our dining space. And I think I want to do those checkered pavers again. That's going to be kind of the flooring for our dining space. I think it's going to look nice, but it's also going to help like separate the spaces and make them feel a bit different from each other, but also cohesive because we're continuing on with the stone. Oh, hold up. Wait, this is giving me ideas. Okay, actually, we're not going to be doing the stone right there. I think we should use wood crates. Okay, so we placed 4 of the wood crates and now I'm going to place this over it. I think the stone also worked, but just to kind of spice it up a little, we're going to keep the crates with the stone pavers on top. Okay, let's go back to our pavers. We kind of did a little side quest there. I need my grid on and then I want to center this. We can fit a row of 4. So now I'm gonna repeat this a few more times on both sides. So I will be back once I'm done with that. And here is the finished paved area. I think it looks so nice. And I'm just a big fan of these paved. So we're gonna keep that. And then we need a lily rattan table. So we're gonna place that in the center. And then I'm gonna style it how I like kind of usually style things. So we'll do 2 benches on the long side. You can never go wrong with a bench. I actually have a bench on my table IRL. I just think they're so fun. Okay, that's looking good. And then we'll do 2 chairs on the ends and I'm going to angle them slightly. I love this. Okay, we're gonna leave this area for now, add finishing touches later. For the bookshelf, I think it would be nice to repeat what we did in the living room. So we're gonna do 2 wood pillars. So I decided on the 3. I think it looks nice. And then we're gonna repeat this a few times. Maybe just 2. I think we should stop at the 2. I was thinking maybe 3, but I feel like that might be a little overkill, especially since this isn't meant to be like a library, just a small little bookshelf. Looking at the photo, it's kind of 2 areas of books. So we'll keep this. It's not exactly like the photo, but I think it's somewhat similar. But we need a couch to go right here. Let's go see what we have in our inventory. I feel like Moonstruck doesn't really fit the vibe in this space. We need to go with the one that brought me the most excitement. So we're gonna do the lily rattan couch. Shocker there. Guys, I know. I love it so much. Don't yell at me. It's just a really nice couch. It's really nice, okay? I feel like this corner is gonna photograph beautifully. This bee gets everywhere, I swear. Oh my gosh, when I was framing, that bee was front and center every single time I tried to take a photo of anything. The queen bee pet is definitely the main character. Okay, now we're gonna work on this seating area. We're going to be recreating that little corner space, but I don't have any of the things that I'm needing. So let me go grab those real quick. I need like a side table. Oh, we could use this valley sunrise. This might be the moment. For this corner, we pretty much have everything that we're needing, luckily, which is amazing. So we're going to start off with that circular frame. I don't know if I like the mirror, so we're going to go back to this Kilima one. And then we're going to place that right there. There's also a hanging plant. I wish we could hang it like right here, but unfortunately we cannot. So we're going to have to hang it up here. Okay, it's so cute. And then we'll do the Valley Sunrise side table. The Valley Sunrise items are just gorgeous. Everything about them I love. And then for the tables up against the side table, we're going to be using the Homestead ones because they're circular. This corner is very circular, but there's nothing wrong with that. And then one on the other side. And then it looks like there's a little basket beside this chair. So we do have a cozy, oh, technically it'd be the other side. Yeah, we'll put that right there. Okay, we got a little basket. And then we have another chair. So I kind of like the difference between this chair and then the Homestead ones that we have around the table. So we'll use this one instead. We don't have pillows, but the fact that this is kind of like a cushion chair, I feel like kind of gets away with it. But there we have that little corner. I think that looks pretty good. I think we just need to add some plants over here. But I had an idea, and this isn't on the Pinterest board, but I kind of just want to do it anyways. But we're going to be taking some stone pavers and we're going to be placing them on this edge. I kind of want to create a little counter because we have the cooking area right here, which you could definitely just like eat at this table right here. But I think it would be nice to have like a view while you're eating, or just have an option where you could be viewing this like beautiful scene that we have right in front of us. So let me place some of these. Oh, that's looking so nice. Should we extend it like all out here? I think I might. Then we have like a huge area to sit. And you don't even have to just eat here. You could sit out and write. You could draw. You can even read over here as well. That's looking amazing. I actually really like that. I know it's technically not what we're building, but we have so much space in this like courtyard, so I think it's fine. And then I don't know what we're gonna do over here, but I'll figure it out. So I did 2 homestead with a lily rattan in the center, and it's just to break it up a little bit to add a tiny bit more texture to the area. I actually think that they look quite nice together. The wood is a little bit different. It just adds more color to the space. Okay, so we have that going. Guys, I really like this actually. I think that looks so nice. Let's check the vibe real quick. Yeah, I'm into that. Wow, this landscaping is gorgeous. It's also getting really dark in the game right now. I'm so sorry. I wish we were able to change the time of day on our plots. I feel like that would just help with decorating so much. Just having some sort of ability to either pause the time or change the time, that would be really nice. But unfortunately, we don't have that. However, I think this is a good place for me to stop recording. I'm going to decorate and I'll come back once I'm finished with this room. And this is how the courtyard is looking, and I love it so much. Here is the kitchen and the dining area. It's not exactly like the photo, but I think it looks quite good. And I like the little changes that we made to it. I like having the separate dining space from the kitchen. This is definitely a space that I would love to cook in. And coming over here, we have this little sitting area. That's pretty close to that photo. And then we have this little reading nook. I guess we should view it from over here. We have this little reading nook. I love this space. I love the fact that it is right up against this view. Just imagine sitting here and reading. It would just be a beautiful experience. I added this little counter in this corner. I think it's gorgeous. I wanted to add a little bit more clutter, but look at my decor limit. With us having a little less than 1,500 left, I think I should save that for the rest of the house. So we're gonna leave this for now. If I'm able to come back and decorate, I will. I'm not sure how much we're gonna need in the next room. So we're gonna leave that as is for this little bit. And then in this opposite corner, I added some bookshelves. These are the Spring Fever trellis with the industrial shelves, and then they're sitting on top of some stone crates, but I absolutely love this. And then moving on over here, we have a credenza with some frames, some books, and plants. And I feel like this is a good start to the bedroom, which we're gonna be working on next. But overall, I'm really happy with this space. I love it so much. Specifically, this area, I think this is my favorite. I really do love creating outdoor kitchens. I think they're so much fun. But that is it for the space. We're gonna move on to the bedroom, but I need to move everything real quick. So give me a second. And now we're gonna be moving on to the bedroom. To the right, here are some of the inspo pictures that I'm gonna try to go for this room. I want the bed like in the center, and I think we're gonna build a wall back here to kind of separate the bathroom and like the closet from the bedroom, so there's a little bit more privacy. And I think it works out because we have this privacy wall as well, so it's not like people from the courtyard can see like into the bedroom. On this wall, I kind of want to do like a faux fireplace, so one that's like more so for aesthetics, and we'll have some of these wood holders like in the center. I feel like that would look really nice, so we're gonna try that out. And then on this side, I'm trying to debate if I want this window right here. I might get rid of it. I really like that middle photo with that dresser situation and the shelves being more so on the right versus like in the center. I kind of want to add that somewhere over here. I guess I technically could put the dresser right here and then have the shelves on this side. For floors, I think we're going to use the teak wood. I'm not seeing a ton of colors on the walls beside that top one, so I think we're going to leave them blank. For this and the opposite, we're going to use the natural wood paneling. And then we're going to go ahead and start the wall that our bed is going to be sitting on. So I'm going to be taking the stone crates. I know we technically use the stone walls, but I just kind of prefer the variety that you get with the stone crates. So we're going to keep that. We'll start off with 4 wide. I think we should place the bed down so then we can kind of get an idea of what's filling the space. I really would like to use the Valley Sunrise bed. I just recently got this. I don't even want to think about the amount of money that I've spent on Zeki coins, but I've been so unlucky with getting this bed. I've been wanting it for so long, and I think it looks so good, and it kind of goes along with the style of bed in the Pinterest photo, so I think it works. I do think we need to extend this out a little bit further, so we'll do one more on each side. Okay, that feels pretty even. I'm a little worried with, we might have to figure this out, or this could just be a tight squeeze. I don't think that that's terrible. We'll just leave that as is right now, because I'm going to be using the stone crates for our faux fireplace. We'll figure that out in a second. Then we're going to go ahead and stack some more up top. Perfect. Here is our wall, and we're going to move this back into place. I think that looks magical. I love this so much. And then I want to add a bit more design to this wall. So we're going to fill the sides with wood pillars, and we're going to be stacking 2 on top of each other. Okay, I think that looks good. And I also feel like it makes it feel a bit more intentional. So we're going to do that on this side. Okay, that looks really good. I love that. So let's go ahead and move on to the faux fireplace. Where are my walls? We're going to center it within the space between this wall and that wall. I feel like that kind of makes sense with what we have going on at the moment. So here we have the stone wall, and then I'm gonna place the stone crate like right where that border starts. I'm just gonna do this on the other side. And here is this. I think that's looking good. Let me get up top, because now we're gonna be placing these wood pavers on top. I think that's looking good. And now we're going to be placing the little firewood holder in the center. Oh, I think that's so cute. I love that. We don't have the exact items to recreate what's in the photo, but I think it's pretty close. For the photo up top, we're going to be using this pirate one. I ended up moving this from what we had over here just because I really love this frame. We're going to be placing this in the center. And now it kind of looks like it's sitting on that ledge. We're also going to fill up the space with candles. Do I even have Flotsam candles? I don't. I need to make some. I know there's 3 candles, but I kind of want to try 4. I usually style 2 Flotsam candles together, like the large one and the small one. But I think it might be cool to do 4 in that same style. So like a large one, a small one, a large one, and a small one. So we're going to do that over here. I love placing lights, but I hate having to turn them on one by one. I kind of wish that they were just automatically on. Let me turn these on real quick. Enjoy just my head being the only thing taking up the screen. Ooh, I like it, but I think we need a tiny bit of space between the large ones. Yeah, I think that's it. That was the move. That looks really good. And then I'm gonna finish up decorating that once I stop recording for this space. We're gonna move on over here. Ooh, I'm trying to decide what side we should have that second photo on. I'm almost wondering if we should flip it, because I'm realizing like this side we're gonna have very limited space if we place it right here. So let's try flipping that second photo. Ooh, okay, maybe we can put a mirror right here. I'm going to place the industrial wall shelf. I'm kind of thinking about switching this out. I might end up switching this out. And now I'm going to be placing 2 homestead dressers next to each other. I think that's looking good. So I'm going to have this top industrial wall shelves kind of match the height of the dresser. And then I'm going to be placing another one below that. And then I'm going to add 3 more above that. Ooh, maybe 2 actually. I think that makes a bit more sense with how tall these walls are. And it would be nice to be able to fit some plants on these. As much as I love this mirror, I'm gonna switch this out. I think it's a little too small with everything we have on that wall. So I'm thinking we should use the Ravenwood mirror instead. Usually I use the autumn colorway, but we might end up switching it out for the shore. I think the shore will look nice in the space. Yeah, this was the move. This was definitely the move. I think that looks so much better. Yeah, that's cute. That's really cute. I'm into this. Oh, poor Everborn mirror. I hope it's not mad at me. Okay, that's looking cute. And then we come across over here, and this is gonna lead to our like laundry room slash closet. But we're gonna leave that empty for now because that's gonna be the next area we're gonna work on. As for the spaces back here, I think I'll add some flowers. I think this is a good spot for me to turn off the camera, decorate, and I will be back once I'm done with the space. And here is the finished bedroom. I absolutely love it. I don't even know which part is my favorite. In the center, we have our Valley Sunrise bed. I added some plushies on it just to make it extra cozy because we don't have like rattan. It looks like seats at the bottom of that photo. I ended up going with the Lily rattan side table and I put that at the foot of the bed. Over here, we have our dresser with bookshelves and I really love how this turned out. And then on the other side, we have our fake fireplace. And I think this turned out beautiful for it not even being like center of this wall. I kind of like that. It's a little off center, but this is what we have for the bedroom. And it's time to move on to our closet slash laundry room. So let me get those Pinterest photos up. Since the last 2 rooms that we have to do are the closet laundry room combination and the bathroom, I thought that we could kind of do the spaces together because I don't think they're going to be as like detailed as the other ones, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for the flooring in the closet, I want to use the teak wood flooring again just because I love it. On these walls facing each other, we're going to use the Gibson Blackstone wall, the natural wood paneling on this one and the one mirroring it. In the bathroom, we'll continue the natural wood paneling on this wall. And then for floors, I wanted to use, what is this one called? The Mosaic Fine Tile Floor. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. For walls, we are going to use the jaded tile wall. Here are the photos that I wanted to pull inspiration from. With the top one, I don't really want to go with that style. I don't really think it fits the theme that we're going for, but I just really liked the layout. I'm really curious on how this side of the wall is going to turn out just because we don't really have a ton of items that we can pull from. I think maybe some of the spa day items. I would love for us to have a decor line that has like hanging clothes or folded clothes, shoes. I think that would be so nice, but we don't have that. So we're gonna see what we can do with that space specifically, but I was imagining the closet being on this side, and then on the opposite side, this will be the laundry room, or the laundry wall, I should say. I wanted to copy that middle image, which now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of tempted to maybe switch this to the jaded tile, but I'm kind of worried that this is kind of a lot of jaded tile. I'm gonna leave these for now, but I might end up changing it just because I feel like that'll be a lot of that tiling, and I think this looks a little bit better, but I want to have a similar layout to that, and I definitely think that we can recreate that in Palia. And for this last room, I really loved this bathroom, and that tiling on the wall reminded me of the jaded tile wall, so I thought it was perfect. We're gonna have to move around some of these windows because it doesn't quite fit what's going on in the photo, but that's fine. We can just maybe move the bay window over here and then keep this window blank, I'm thinking. But we're gonna start in this space. I don't know if we're gonna put stone crates on this section, but I do kind of want to put stone crates right here for stone molding. So we're gonna change this to an open concept, place 2 small stone crates on the edge of both rooms and in the center of this beam. Go ahead and turn that doorway back into a double doorway. So to start off our closet wall, I'm gonna be placing a cozy curtain, and I changed this to the Calathea color. We're gonna be placing a wardrobe, and I went with a homestead wardrobe. And then besides that, we're going to be merging a homestead large dresser with the wardrobe. So we're using the soup bowl trick again. So make sure to group select the soup bowl, and then you're going to slide that into where you're wanting it to be. I think that looks pretty good. And then we're going to be placing another one, and then also going to be merging this into the other dresser. Okay, this wardrobe is looking very nice so far. And then as for that little like getting ready area, I was thinking that we can use a table. It's kind of big, but it'll work out. Just trust me. So we're going to be merging this with the dressers that we just placed. So again, soup bowl trick. It's going to be merging it into the dresser. I don't really want to see the leg, but I feel like that is a good amount of space. Okay, I think that looks very good. So we have a little get ready area. We have some dressers and then a wardrobe to actually change our outfit. We're going to take one of my favorite mirrors, the Capital Chic mirror, and we're going to be placing 2 of them, but we're going to be merging them at the center. So place one right there, and then place another one, and then just merge it. And then we have a little mirror to go with our getting ready area. And this is how the wall is looking. I love it. I think it's looking so good. For a chair, I kind of want to use the bellflower chair. It's a very luxe chair, and I feel like it would be super cozy. Let me make one real quick. Ooh, I also need some focus food. Wait, I love that. That looks amazing. Oh, I love that so much. Oh my goodness, and the green on the curtains and the green in the bellflower. So good. And then I think that's good until I add some finishing touches. So we're going to turn and do this wall. So we're going to be placing a row of stone crates, and we're going to do 4 of them. And now that I have my stone crates, I'm going to be placing some iron crates right in front of the 2 on this side. We're going to keep the side with the little indent. I'm going to place 2 flotsam mirrors at the front of the iron. And there we have a washer and dryer. I love that. On top of all of these crates, we're going to be placing 2 wood floors. And then above these, I'm going to be placing more stone crates. I'm going to align it with the ones at the back. And then we're going to be doing another row on top. Next, we're going to be placing some industrial shelves. And to finish this off, I'm kind of thinking about placing wood pillars like we did on the side of this stone wall. So let me grab some of those. And if I remember correctly, it is 3 rows of 2. And this is how the laundry side is looking. This might be my favorite laundry concept we've made. I really dig this, and I love that we added these pillars. I think it just finishes the space pretty nicely. We have some areas to place clothes as we're washing them. I think this room is looking good, so we're gonna move on to the bathroom. In that photo, we have both a bath and a shower. So I'm gonna be splitting this back wall into 2 sections with stone crates. So we have this wall, and what I'm thinking is placing a bath right here in this corner, like the photo. And then we're gonna be placing some bugs to create a glass wall. And we're going to turn this area into a walk-in shower. We're going to place it on the right so then I can create a glass wall to the left and like the water won't come out of the shower, if that makes any sense. And then we'll just walk through it like this, I'm thinking. So for the glass wall, we're going to be taking the brush tail dragonfly and we're going to be placing it right up against the wall. And I think we're going to do a stack of 3. And there we have our glass wall. You really can't see it up against the jaded tile wall. So I think this kind of glass hack works perfectly. For the bath, we're going to use the Capital Chic. Kind of want to turn it on an angle just to make it look a little bit more interesting. For towels, I changed these flotsam towels to shore. So we're going to be placing 2 of these right up against this wall. And for the toilet, we're just going to place it right here. I'm kind of thinking about getting a room divider to kind of add a little bit more privacy. I just think that's way too open right there. There's a little gap, but the bathroom just is making me laugh. I lied. We're actually going to kind of put it at the corner. There, look at that. Such a nice place to do your business. For the sink, we're going to be using one of my favorites, the Bellflower sink, and then we're going to place it centered with this wall over here. Originally, I wanted to put 2 small stone crates on both sides of the sink, but I think there's just not going to be enough space in order to get to the shower, so we're going to leave it as is. But we do need some mirrors, so we're going to be taking the Capital Chic mirror again just because it is so lovely. And we're going to be doing something similar to what we did in the closet, but we're going to be doing 3 instead of 2 this time. And then we're going to use a Ravenwood doormat for a little bath mat next to the sink. I think both of these spaces are looking amazing. I also added 4 wood pillars to the front, and I think this kind of finishes this area a bit more than what it was before. But I'm going to stop recording and I will be back once I'm done with all the finishing touches. But here is what I came up with. We have our closet area all decorated, and then turning from there, we have our laundry room. I love this so much. And then on our stone wall, I added another floor-length mirror. But moving back here, we have our bathroom, and I love it so much. As we walk in, we have our sink, we have a shower back here, then we have some spa items. It's actually my first time decorating with some of the spa items, and I love them so much. Like, look at this little guy. We're best friends. And then around the corner, we got the place to do your business. But overall, I am really happy with how this turned out. But let's do a grand walkthrough of this section of the house. And if you're wanting to view the other section of the house, I'm going to keep that on the first video, so I'll have that linked below if you would like to see a part 1. But here we have our outdoor space. Again, we have our outdoor kitchen, which I love so much. I'm not the most organized person like in real life, so whenever I get the opportunity to make it look like I'm organized in Palia, it just makes my heart so happy. And then behind here, we have our dining area with our checkered pavers. But I love how this area looks. Over here, we have a counter, which this wasn't based off of a Pinterest photo. I came up with this idea randomly as we were working on the Kilima Courtyard, and I just really love how this ended up turning out. And then behind here, this is from a Pinterest photo, which we were able to create pretty spot on, actually. I think the photo had a few more like hanging flowers, but there's only so much we can do with this one beam, unfortunately. This also wasn't part of the Pinterest photos, but I made a few bookshelves, so if you ever needed to take a book, go read, you could do that. But moving on over here, this is from a Pinterest photo, and it's not exactly the same because technically this wall is filled, it's not as open, but I thought this would be lovely over here because just imagine sitting here reading with these views. It would be so magical. We are now transitioning to the main bedroom, really the only bedroom on this property. If I added more, this build would be crazy. Here is the main bedroom. I absolutely love this bed. I love making fireplaces in Palia. I think they're a lot of fun. And then on this side, we have some dressers with some bookshelves. And I just love the cluttering on this wall. This room turned out really nice. And then going behind this wall, we are heading into our closet and laundry room. I love this room so much. I'm really happy with how it turned out. There's just something about like creating a washer and dryer, even though we don't have that. I haven't done a side-by-side washer and dryer. Usually I stack them on top of each other, but I really love how this turned out as well. And then going into the bathroom, I love how serene this feels with all the green, the plants. Walking over here, we have our sink, and then again, we have our shower, the bathtub, and then the place to do our business. And just overall, I'm really happy with how this build turned out, and I can't believe we're done with it. This build was definitely ambitious. I am laughing at myself because when I made this originally, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be so easy. No, this has taken me like about 15 days in order to like build and decorate everything. I love Palia so much, but sometimes just gathering resources, building things, running out of items, having to go back to Kilima, buy more resources, or running around Bahari to gather resources. It just can take a little while with the building. I'm really proud of myself. I think I did good. And that is it for today's video and challenge. Thank you so much for watching. If you choose to leave a like or comment, thank you so much. If you would like to see more, I do have some videos over here. Subscribe if you like, and I will be back very soon with another video. Until I see you next, please make sure to stay safe, drink water, eat food, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.